Hi, welcome to mywealth.com. I'm Mike Conlon. I'm one of the senior instructors with the courses. Welcome to today's blog. Today's blog is entitled The Housing Solution. Alright, well the numbers are in and it looks like home foreclosures are up a whopping 15% in the first half of 2009, and this is affecting more than 1.5 million households. Alright, this problem does not appear to be getting any better as unemployment is nearing 10%. And it could go even higher if you're someone like me who believes that government forecasts are about as accurate as throwing darts in the dark. All right, so the most recent shot in the dark from the Obama administration appears to be, this disaster, to put it lightly. All right, it's a rental option for those facing foreclosure. All right, this is supposed to help people stay in their homes, and it will transfer their equity, if they actually have any, to the bank, who is now supposed to become a landlord. All right, this plan is flawed on so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. All right, perhaps they need to look no further than one of their own agencies, Sallie Mae, for a real solution to what's becoming the #1 problem with our economy and our country. Let's have a look.
As always, be sure to check out the written blog at www.mywealth.com/blog. Okay, so we're talking about Sallie Mae loans here, and how this could relate to the current housing debacle. All right, when I was an 18-year-old and I was about to start college, I knew it would be necessary to take out a loan to pay for some of the cost of attending a private university. All right, what I didn't know at the time that I took out these loans was that I was basically signing my life away. All right, and that the money that I borrowed for college was a debt that would follow me wherever I went through life, and that the only way to get out of repaying that debt was to either die or to become permanently disabled. All right, so I didn't know that at the time, but basically student loan debt is unforgivable. All right, meaning there's no way out of it. All right, and while I had always intended upon paying the money back, and actually I have, I've fully repaid the amount of money I borrowed. All right, had I understood those ramifications at the time I signed on for it, all right, I may have thought differently. That's a big pill to swallow as an 18-year-old kid. All right. But fast forward to today. All right, the average college student graduates college with over $22,000 in debt, and they haven't even entered the workforce yet. All right, so why are we letting home buyers or homeowners or those who took out mortgages, I don't know if you can call them owners, some of them didn't even put any money down, okay, walk away from their obligations with not so much as a dent to their credit? All right, it's unfortunate, but the mentality that got us into this mess is the same mentality that's going to continue to kick this problem down the road in the name of populism. All right, but I'm saying it's time to get tough and to not reward the irresponsible. All right, here's how to combat this problem in a sensible way without harming those who are responsible citizens any more than they've already been harmed, okay, and at the same time holding all of the bad actors responsible. Okay, we need a new program that's going to hold the home buyer and the banks and the government equally responsible for what's happened. So what I've done is I've put together a little program here. I don't want to go out quite as far as saying let's call it the Conlon plan, but it's just an idea that we need to get back to personal responsibility. There are a lot of things that happened in the housing crisis, some fault of people who acted badly and in bad faith, and others unsuspecting people. But there are ways that we can go about doing this without having to burden those who acted responsibly. All right, basically the idea is the following, that we basically want to give you two options. All right, the current option and what's going on today is that if you are in a mortgage that you can't afford, you're basically walking away, you're mailing the keys to the bank, and that's it. What we need to do now is have some real consequences for when that happens. Okay, if you decide you want to do that, all right, you need to be immediately removed from the property in question, okay, and your credit needs to take a 400-point hit, all right, and they should ban you for 10 years from buying another property unless you can pay back the loss to the bank, that whatever that loss is and whatever it turns out to be. All right, we need to make it a criminal offense for anybody to damage a home on their way out with automatic jail time. All right, what that's going to do is that's going to deter people from acting even worse than they did when they decided to take out mortgages they couldn't afford. All right, the second thing, the second option, okay, is a new plan, which I'm proposing. It's just an idea. It's not anything written in stone, but basically, here's the thing: is that if you are in a mortgage that you can't afford, all right, and you're underwater, you should be given a timetable, okay, with which to vacate the premises. All right, the house in question then gets auctioned off immediately, and whatever the market brings, that becomes the final price of the house. All right, you then take the loss that's incurred and you split it three ways. You split it equally amongst the banks, the government, and the borrower. That's 1/3 apiece. All right, but now what you do with the borrower's portion of the loss is you turn it into a Sallie Mae type loan. All right, you give them immediate forbearance, meaning they don't have to pay it back right away. Okay, but they're saying that they're going to be responsible for that portion of the loan. All right, so if a home buyer, say, he paid $500,000 for a house and he can no longer afford it, all right, basically what happens is the house gets auctioned off immediately. Okay, say it brings in $350,000. That's about a 30% haircut. All right, and that's going to show a loss of $150,000. Okay, the way it's currently going right now is that the bank, has to eat that loss basically, and what that's doing is that's preventing the banks from actually auctioning off these houses more quickly than they should. All right, so instead of putting the loss all the way on the bank, let's split it three ways. Say the homeowner takes 50, government gets 50, and the bank gets 50 as well. All right, now what this does is now the homeowner doesn't, or the home buyer rather, doesn't have to go through life with the scarlet letter credit smear on their report saying that they walked away from a mortgage. All right, what this does is it allows them to step back into the housing market at a time when they're ready. Okay, but only under the old standards that we used to use, namely no more liar loans, no more ninja loans. Okay, home buyers are actually gonna have to save up some money, put some money down. All right, so let's say now that time goes by and that original home buyer is able to get back to work and maybe he saves up a little bit of cash for a down payment. Okay, he can come back into the market and buy the amount of house he qualifies for, less the amount of money he owes for his first failed attempt. All right, so if he qualifies for a $250,000 mortgage, he can then buy a home worth $200,000. All right, and then what else you want to do is you want to have him have a little skin in the game and repay the government. All right, so you raise his taxes 2%. That goes specifically to a government fund that is picking up the losses on these homes. All right. That way, responsible taxpayers don't have to carry the full burden of the loan, but the person who acted irresponsibly in the beginning does as well. All right. So don't wait. Get educated. Get in a course. Go to www.mywealth.com.
So what does this accomplish? Well, first of all, it allows a home buyer an escape route, all right, and allows them to get out of a mortgage that they can no longer afford, okay, and to still be responsible for the role that they played. All right, what this does is it means that they won't be totally financially ruined, okay, and that they can, some point in the future step back into the housing market. All right, this also allows them to participate in the economy, all right, and just to not be totally finished. All right, secondly, what this does is it allows banks to move the houses more quickly, all right, which is going to help housing prices bottom more quickly, which is then going to bring in a whole new rush of responsible buyers. All right, so basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get home prices to come down a little bit quicker so that, people feel that they've sort of bottomed and you can put a floor in on the market, basically. All right, so what's this going to do to responsible home buyers? Well, it's going to allow them to upgrade if they choose. All right, so if you purchased a home that's now worth less than what you paid for it, okay, you can turn around, sell it, and then turn around and get into a new house that's an upgrade for you. All right, and if you incur a loss in doing that, all right, well, the government should allow you to take a tax credit over, say, the next 5 years or whatever to be able to sustain that. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to get the housing market moving, which is what we really need to happen, okay? Because right now it's moving at a snail's pace, and the only direction it seems to be going is down. All right, so while this is just one proposal, okay, I really hope the government adds back an element of personal responsibility into any program that they choose. All right, because trying to artificially prop up housing prices and to reward those who acted irresponsibly, all on a taxpayer's dime, well, that's just a travesty. All right, after all, there are 22-year-olds running around with $25,000 in unforgivable debt, and they haven't even been given an opportunity to act irresponsibly yet. Alright, so to learn more about how the housing market and government decisions affect your investments, be sure to check out our investing in currency courses. I'm Mike Conlon. Thanks for being with me, and I hope to see you in the courses.